Hi guys, my name is Maites.
And I'm Ben, and we are the vocalists for Inter Amiga. We wanted to make this video to introduce you to our band and give you some insight into the themes we have going on and explain some of the inspiration behind our lyrics.
So welcome to the first part of the I.O. experience, the vocals.
Stephen first approached me in 2012 asking me if I'd be interested in joining his band. And I was very flattered at the time, because up until that point any musical projects I'd been involved with were just kind of jamming out with friends, not really taking anything too seriously. So this is the first time someone came to me with an idea of a band that had goals that they wanted to achieve and kind of a definite direction they wanted to go. And I didn't necessarily consider myself a proper musician at that point, it's just a hobby. Well, not that I necessarily do now, but so initially I said yes, and then I went along to a band practice of a previous band, that Stephen and some of the other guys were in, called Remaining Bullet. And I remember being very nervous and kind of too shy to actually start singing, because they were sort of inviting me along to improvise or just sort of jam some things out, and I couldn't really bring myself to do that, so I just sort of sat quietly throughout the whole rehearsal. And then afterwards I thought about it, and everyone seemed really keen on what they were doing and excited for sort of playing music together. But at the time I was already in another band. And I felt that I didn't have time or couldn't commit to two bands, and so I felt it was unfair to say to these guys, I'll join you if I wasn't able to put the time in. So then, sort of soon after, I said, okay, I'm really sorry. I know I said yes, but actually, I just don't think I've got the time to do it. So that was that for a while, and then maybe a year later, Stephen came back to me, and he seemed pretty insistent that he still wanted me to sing. And he then said to me that he saw the band as more of a studio project. So I thought, okay, on that basis, I'm happy to go into the studio and try and lay some tracks down. And then it sort of became more clear over time that actually it was a proper band, and sort of there was more to it than just going in the studio. But then after we'd had our first practice, all of us together, I realised that I had so much fun doing it, and I realised that if I want to do something, I'll make the time for it and I'll find the time. So I since then decided, I can do this, and actually being in two bands hasn't clashed at all, so I don't know what I was worrying about before.
Stephen approached me in 2013. My previous band called Indefree had fallen out in 2011. So it's been 2 years since I've done anything in a band. Actually I was at home. I just became a father, and I recorded some guitar and just demoed something, but I pretty much was already giving up on the idea of being in a band and a vocalist at that. And as soon as I got to the rehearsal room, I realized that I hadn't done anything for such a long time, and my voice wasn't really ready, and I felt kind of embarrassed, and the guys were like, okay, yeah, let's give it some time and see. And oh, by the way, we know this dude who can sing. We can share the vocals, and maybe he can give you some vocal lessons.
So when Steve approached us, he had a very specific idea of the themes of the band and what he wanted to achieve with the group. So he already had the name Inter Amiga in mind. And so Inter meaning kind of buried and within oneself, and Omega, which literally means great O. So sort of signifying greatness, but also being the last letter of the Greek alphabet, denotes the ultimate limit of a set. So combining the words wanted to sort of create the image of, or create the idea of kind of the potential that we have within ourselves, and also kind of the way in which actually the only thing limiting us is our own minds. Ended up being very important for me because it proved to be a very good outlet for any stress I had at the time. Kind of as we wrote the song and we were rehearsing it, I was going through a particularly rough patch with my work, and I was having a lot of questions about where I was with my life, and was I doing the right thing, and so kind of getting to come to a band practice and jam out that song and kind of take stock of everything, listen to what I've written, and kind of pay attention and remind myself that, you know, life is very up and down, and everyone experiences those lower moments, and it's just a case of you know, persevere and kind of, yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And
as far as my parts on the song go, I also took the idea of having ups and downs, positives and negative moments in your life, and the struggle really for me at that point as well, similarly to Ben, was that I was struggling with some personal issues, and I just saw the way of adding this idea of the further we go, the closer we get, as the idea of finally achieving something that I've been thinking and I've been planning for years, and then finally thinking that I'm free of this thing that I've been working on, and to get cleared, and then only to find out that I'm in more debt, whether it's just financially, whether it's just something that has come up, the other problem, the byproduct of the main problem, whatever. It's just a story of dealing with issues, getting over them, and finding out there's another one on the way. But yeah, you always just have to move on. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share the shit out of this video, and see you soon. Cheers.
that's a bit of